is in the specific plan. I checked with the planning department, and the planning department apparently does not require that of any developer along the entire Ventura Boulevard corridor. So that is out of our hands.
Okay, we're now going to, since we have no more public comment, the board will discuss and deliberate. And if anyone would like to ask a question of the applicant, they're here. So let's begin. Who would like to open the discussion?
Hi, I just want to ask you a couple of quick questions. That property's been owned by you guys for a long time, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what was on that property prior to the vacant lot?
Prior to the vacant lots, the property was developed with a 4-story office building and 11 single-family homes and 24 apartment units.
And what happened to those?
The building was damaged in the 1994 earthquake beyond repair. It had significant impact to its structural members. And the age of the apartment building had gone down to the point where we needed to remove that as well. Individual single-family homes were not maintained as when we purchased them, and it was never intended for us to hold them for much longer in hopes of trying to acquire a redevelopment that's actually revitalize the property.
So were most of them deemed uninhabitable after Northridge?
Pretty much.
And I assume you've done geological?
We have. We've done significant geological studies to the project, much more than we did in 1973.
Did you hit bedrock when you did coring?
No, we did not.
And that soil composition is sandy loam, is that correct?
I don't have the report in front of me to clearly articulate which one it was.
Did you hit water?
Not to my knowledge. I believe that water is there, has historic water table.
Because I've lived here my whole life, and I heard some history of the LA. That's an old river bed, I believe.
Correct.
So there's a lot of sand there. You know where the proximity on the public safety committee, so this is how I think. The nearest fault line, you know?
I don't have that information in front of me tonight.
As I recall, it follows the freeway.
It's not. It's far enough away that we have designed the project and utilize the current geotechnical work that we've done. We've done drillings down below 100 feet of the property to make sure that this time that the geotech is adequately.
But no bedrock.
Not to my knowledge.
And just one last question then. The highest at the highest point is 100 feet?
That's correct.
And the setback from the freeway is, at that highest point, is approximately?
We're set back. We have a service road, so we're approximately more than about 30 feet away from the perimeter of the property line there.
So potentially 60 feet of the building could fall onto the freeway.
I'm not looking into building falling at this point, sir.
Well,
we wouldn't build a building like that to the current standards that have it come down as well.
I'm just thinking back to the San Francisco earthquake, where a lot of the
Buildings were not built to the current code that's there, as you're correct.
Right.
So we have to build to the current standards that have been established well after the Northridge earthquake, well after the Kobe, Japan earthquake. And we're very cognizant of that effect. We also have geotech that's gone down. We have a structure that goes down 2 levels below grade. So we're capturing a much stronger foundation with the project. The bottom portion, shall we say, the garage and the retail portion are type 1 concrete building. And on top of that will be the stick frame members on top. We don't anticipate this thing falling over that also.
Do you have any provisions for pumping any of the water that might seep up from the water that you hit at the bottom?
We're subject to the MPDS requirements, so all projects in the city of Los Angeles, and for that matter, all localities throughout California. And yes, we will have that potential there that we may have to have a provision and backup resources to be able to pump water, and also have infiltration as well.
Kind of the generator backups for that when the power goes out?
Absolutely. With
Okay.
the emergency generator pack, thank you with all the new buildings, including the one we completed in 2019.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Neil, do you have a question?
With the 400 units that you have planned, are those rental units? Are those condominium purchase units? What's the split on this?
So the structure of the project is they are apartment units. We are putting a track map to that as part of the design from a financial standpoint is to have it in process or in play, having a track map in play at the moment of construction. We are building the condominium specifications. However, we're a landlord through and through, same as we've done in Encino with our current project, where we built a mixed-use building, have a tract map, we rent the units out. We enjoy being the landlord, and we'll continue to be the landlord here in this project as well.
Okay, and at the 6th-story level, are you at the 75-foot level there?
At the 6th story,
Yeah. Are we close?
we're
What are you
getting
talking?
closer. We're getting closer at that point.
I mean, are we talking 85 or are we talking 79?
Generally speaking, at about 8 feet is where our last floor is.
Okay, and what's the number of units that would be lost if we locked off floors 7 and 8?
From the original plan,
No, from what you have presented now. At 400 units, if you locked off floors 7 and 8,
I'd have to go
brought
back
this
and
down close to the 75 unit, what's the density at that point?
I would have to go back and look at that tonight, sir.
Because I was trying to look through the information that you gave and I couldn't figure it out.
I'd have to take a unit count off the 8th and 7th floor to determine that. I don't have it in front of me.
Any other questions, Neil?
No.
Okay. Jay, you're next.
Yeah, I have a question about the history. I have a question about the history of the property in terms of your ownership of it. When you purchased the property, when did you guys first originally start owning the property? About what year?
We started purchasing property in 1973.
Okay, and when was the specific plan?
1991.
What was that?
1991,
Was a specific plan?
correct.
Okay. And as far as the question that was just asked of you, as far as how many units would be lost, no one's asked you that question?
We've been working down from a number right now in terms of actually stair-stepping the project. We worked from trying to create more of a stair-step approach from Sepulveda, and so we've lowered it down to 4 levels along Sepulveda, to 6 floors.
I'm familiar with that. My question is only, he asked you a very specific question,
He
which is if the unit that's, the parts of the building that are 100 feet, if those were lowered to fit in with the plan, or at least the 6-story building, how many units were lost? In this entire process, no one has asked that question up to this point?
That's correct.
Okay. And as far as crossing Sepulveda, do you anticipate much foot traffic of people crossing from this unit across the street to the other side of Sepulveda?
No, I don't.
Transit, nothing, I mean...